Minglawa, welcome to MITV's special talk show Perspectives. For this program, we have invited Honorable guest speaker Wu Echeng, who is the Councillor of Myanmar Press Council and also Chairman of E-Commerce Association of Myanmar and Deputy Chairman of Myanmar Digital Economy Association of UMFCCI. Minglawa Sia, thank you very much for your time. And this time we are going to discuss about developing the e-commerce industry. So the size of the industry, please share us.
Okay, we did a measurement in 2018, right, just before the COVID and the stuff. We did a measurement. In fact, three entities did make the measurement. One, the Myanmar Consumer Union with the funding of the USAID. And the other one is one German consulting firm, I forgot the name. And the other one is a Myanmar Insider. Three of them did the e-commerce industry survey. We just take the average consumption on the spending on the e-commerce, if you're talking about online shopping, and then the frequency of that, and we multiply that and all this thing. Then on average, all three parties, all three entities come up with an e-commerce size of around 100 million US dollar around 2018. So that is the size of the e-commerce industry itself.
So how does it compare with around the world?
Well, the world, okay, normally when you judge the size of the e-commerce industry, you look at the, compare the size of the industry versus the GDP. Percentage, how much percentage of the industry is how much percentage this industry represent as a percentage of GDP. Well, obviously the e-commerce, why China has the biggest percentage relative to the economy itself, right? China is number one, followed by the US, and then these are the top two countries. If you look at our ASEAN neighbors, we have the Indonesia. The e-commerce industry value is about 20 billion in 2020, around that. And then the representing the through about 2% of the GDP. And we have the Vietnam, which is about 4.4 billion US dollar, representing about the 1.6% of the GDP. Myanmar, just now, as I mentioned, if I repeat, Myanmar only like not even billion, it's 100 million, which represent about 0.13% of the GDP.
So currently, how about the developing of e-commerce industry?
Okay, now currently what we are having is, e-commerce in Myanmar is down, especially after the change of government. It is down quite a fair bit. The economy itself is down in 2021 by nearly 20%, right? And the e-commerce industry is down nearly 80%, around 80% of the big e-commerce related players, right? Their revenues fall down by about 80%, right? And you can see that. It's quite also visible when a lot of so-called the companies that are in the e-commerce trend or using the technology, they all close shop. For example, you may have heard of Food to You or Door to Door, or even the Grab is still closed. So a lot of other online shops also, they have closed, the big ones, because of the especially in 2021.
And other than Facebook, what other options?
Okay, well, nowadays a lot of e-commerce online shops, they are going the Telegram. Through the Telegram they're selling. Facebook is, a lot of negativities on this Facebook. I'm sure you heard from my talk at the other
yes,
time.
you have already. We have already discussed about the Facebook
algorithms and negativities, and so now obviously website is one of the options, but a lot of the players, the e-commerce players in Myanmar cannot afford the website, especially at the current state of the, attacks and all these things online. So the route that available through them is the what is that?
Instagram.
Instagram is not so good. It's a Telegram. A Telegram page, and they put up the Telegram page, and they try to sell through the Telegram page, because it's not the locally like local is tech is down doubly because of the COVID, as well as the change of the government and a lot of cyber attacks, right? Because especially a lot of people who want to attack Myanmar, they are present in the cyberspace, right? So whenever you try to sell something, they will try to assuming that if they sort of deduce that you are somehow related to the current government or you are somehow related to the military, they will try to attack you cyber wise. Yeah, so that's why the big players is quite difficult to really go into cyberspace and become big again, right? So that's one thing now. In terms of tech industry itself, the whole world tech is down at this point in time because tech industry like Facebook, Google, all these things, they hire lots of people during the downturn, including Amazon. Right now they are retrenching lots of people, in tens of thousands of people, staff, especially in the US and across the world, because the tech industry itself is down. Even the Southeast Asia tech giant, Indonesia, we have the GoTo. GoTo is Tokopedia versus Gojek. They combine together. These are two top online platforms in the Indonesia. They combine, they go to, they themselves is having problems with the cash flow, and plus the Singapore Shopee, Singapore Carousel, they're having funding problems because in general e-commerce business is you need to have funding consistently because you're trying to capture the whole market. So you need to do promotions and you need to entice people to come to your platform.
So other people are also facing challenges, yeah? So how about online frauds?
Online fraud in general, especially in Myanmar, is on the up, especially on the investment-related frauds. Is on the up, and also the online shops also a lot of fraudulent activities, especially if you send money, especially from the fly-by-night operator. This one of the reasons for this happening is because after the change of government, the keyboard warriors or keyboard terrorists, they attack the big online giants, right? And under the assumption that they are somehow owned or they are somehow related to the government. Yeah, so because of that, the big giants, their activity toned down a lot. So which means, it's like when the standard setters, when the companies that set the good standards are no longer around to lead the rest of the crowd, then the whole thing becomes sort of chaotic, right? Everybody set their own rules, and you can like in America, if you're doing online shopping, you will look at Amazon, right? In China also you look at Alibaba, and what type of standard Alibaba set, right? They look at the big guy. What type of standard Amazon set? They look at the big guy, and the small guy will follow. Oh, I need to have match that standard. Now in Myanmar, the big guys got attacked, right? Then the small guys they are free to follow. They become like Wild Wild West, Wild Wild Myanmar. Yeah, so especially in the cyberspace. Yeah, so that's quite difficult. So because of this a lot of small players coming up, the online fraud actually is on the up. And plus the sad thing is because of local companies, entities got attacked, Myanmar people attacking Myanmar companies, so the market is being captured by foreign companies, right? So if we attack each other, right, then the market, the consumption will still be there, but the demand is absorbed by the suppliers from overseas.
So how do we develop a safer and better cyberspace?
Okay, I look at, because the cyberspace is king of cyberspace is right now in China, right? So I look at the China, how they make sure that the cyberspace is safe and good, and it contributes to the economic growth. So they only set 3 policies. The first one is sound cyberspace culture, right? In the cyberspace, you need to have a culture, good culture and traditions in the cyberspace, right? You and I meet each other, we don't swear and curse at each other, right? Yeah, I don't like you, but I will not swear and curse and say all the bad, wrong things about you, right? When I meet you. But in the cyberspace, right, Myanmar people are behaving differently from how they would normally behave culturally when we are when we're meeting face to face. So that's the issue. So China, that's why they put it as number 1, sound cyberspace culture. We must have good culture. In Burmese language, in Jebu, right? You must have good culture in the cyberspace too. It's not good enough just to be polite when we meet each other. We have to be polite with each other. We have to be considerate on the cyberspace also. Yeah, that's the number 1. That's what China Say it, number one. Yeah, so that they will grow. When you have good culture, you are strong. Number two, they say, the government, we always have to reinforce a cyber governance. The government has to control, the government has to govern the cyberspace. You cannot leave the cyberspace to the commercial players, and you cannot just leave the cyberspace to the people. The government has to govern the cyberspace too. That's number two that China has said. Right? How about why you need to govern? We need to promote civility. We cannot be swearing and cursing and promoting, very uncouth behavior in the cyberspace, right? And plus desirable practices. We need to be decent human beings on the cyberspace as well, right? That's why government has to govern and control so that people will behave in the cyberspace the same way as they behave physically outside. Yeah, so that's number two. Number three is the coordinate between the e-commerce cyberspace development with the governance, right? Because that's what Myanmar has. I felt that Myanmar has done wrong in the last 7 years or so. Yeah, when we opened up the cyberspace, the Facebook in 2013, around that, it was not follow up with the corresponding governance. We just opened up, right? Everybody used Facebook, everybody used everything. But in terms of governance, it's non-existent. Right? In the Facebook, somebody has swear and curse at you and do whatever things, attack you. But where's the governance? Where's the rule of law? And rule of law lag behind. Right? So that's why Myanmar as a country has fallen into this type of situation, because the cyberspace industry development doesn't match with the governance that government has put in place. So in China, number three is you need to balance between the development and governance. Yeah, so if we can replicate that model here, if we can replicate the model, we can also be successful.
So that is the answer, yeah, to match the development and governance. So how does consumer rights and protection relates to e-commerce development?
Yeah, so if you follow just now the three things that I mentioned, you have a better cyberspace. When you have a better cyberspace, when people are civil, people are decent, people are behaving as if we are meeting face to face, then that will lead to safety and that will lead to consumer protection. Because you have a sound cyberspace, you have a properly governed cyberspace. Yeah. So governance, we'll talk about, also relates to law enforcement. Yeah. If you do something bad in the internet or Facebook or some other cyberspace, the action has to be the same as you do something bad outside, in the physical world. Yeah, physical world versus digital world. Right? If I attack you in the physical world, I'm pretty sure that I'll be sent to jail. But if I attack you in the digital world, people can still get away with that. We need to address that. Only when we address that, we'll have a better cyberspace in the country. And last but not least, cyberspace is always led by giants, right? So in Myanmar, we will also have to be open to cyberspace being led by the big entities. So if the public or the people, dissidents or whoever doesn't like the government keep attacking these e-commerce entities, right, the industry will never develop. Because the leaders, they will lead the way, they set the good standards. So the good standards mean consumers are protected. They won't cheat you. Yeah, so that has to be that way. Yeah, if not, the whole industry will be going into chaos.
Thank you very much for your insightful discussion. It is a very, very good food for thought to our audience.
Thank you.
You have been watching MITV Perspectives. Thanks for joining us.